Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another knowledge lesson. We have been learning about a lot of different cycles in nature in this domain. We have talked about the day and night cycle, the cycle of the seasons, and we started to talk about life cycles of living things like flowering plants and trees. We've learned about the life cycle of a chicken, from egg to chick to an adult that reproduces and lays more eggs, beginning the cycle again. Remember, our cycles always come back to the place they started. So trees and flowering plants start with seeds, and then as they grow, the adult plants reproduce and release more seeds. Frogs are the same way. We start with frog spawn, or eggs. We move to tadpole, to froglet, and then to an adult frog. Today, we are going to learn about the lifespan of another type of animal or insect, another type of living thing. Today, we will be learning about the life cycle of a butterfly. Before we learn about butterflies, let's go over our vocabulary words. Larva. Larva is the early form of an insect that is not completely developed. A larva must go through many stages of growth before becoming an adult insect. Molt. Molt means to shed an outer layer. When it comes time for my pet snake to molt, he sheds all of his scales at once. Transparent. Transparent means see-through. Mike's water bottle is transparent, so he is able to see how much water he has left. Other things that are transparent are windows, lenses in a pair of glasses, a fish tank, or clear plastic wrap. Things like a brown paper bag or a book are not transparent. We have already learned about 5 cycles. We've learned about the seasonal cycle, the life cycle of a flowering plant, the life cycle of a tree, the life cycle of a chicken, and the life cycle of a frog. Today, we will learn about the life cycle of a butterfly. A butterfly's life cycle is somewhat different from most animals because it goes through a stage called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a process in which a living thing changes or transforms from one shape into another. We've learned already about one animal that also goes through metamorphosis, a frog. This means that the animal literally changes its entire appearance. Let's hear more about the extraordinary life cycle of those beautiful creatures called butterflies. Before we do, take a minute and think, when do we usually see butterflies? We usually see them during the spring and summer. Did you know that there are about 25,000 different kinds of butterflies in the world? Butterflies vary in size from about 1/8 of an inch to almost 12 inches in size. The largest butterfly in the world is the Queen Alexandra birdwing. Its wingspan is 12 inches wide. It lives in the rainforests of Papua New Guinea. The smallest butterfly is the western pygmy blue from Africa. Incredibly, butterflies can only fly when their bodies are warm enough. The butterfly's body temperature must be 85 degrees Fahrenheit for them to take to the air. 85 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature on a warm summer day. When they do, the fastest butterflies can fly at 12 miles per hour. They cannot move at all if their body temperature drops below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature of a chilly day. Well, now that you know some interesting facts about butterflies, it is time to find out about a butterfly's life cycle. A butterfly begins its life as an egg that has been produced by its mother. Butterfly eggs can be round or oval. There are even some that are cylindrical in shape. The shape of the egg often depends on the kind of butterfly that laid the egg. Female butterflies lay their eggs on the leaves of plants. They do this so that when their young hatch, there is food right there for them to eat. They choose the leaves carefully, selecting only the leaves that their young will eat. Depending on the kind of butterfly, it can take from 6 days to 20 days for the eggs to hatch. Can you guess what hatches out of a butterfly's egg? Well, it isn't a butterfly. It is actually a tiny caterpillar, also called a larva. A caterpillar is a small creature that moves by squeezing its muscles. It squeezes its muscles starting at the back end of its body and moving up to its head. This movement pushes the caterpillar forward. A caterpillar also uses its muscles to eat. The caterpillar's job is to eat as much as it can. A caterpillar even eats the egg that sheltered it. Then it begins to eat the leaf on which it was born. The tiny caterpillar keeps on eating, devouring all of the leaves around it. Caterpillars don't sleep, so they eat during the day and at nighttime too. They grow very quickly. Because caterpillars grow so quickly, they outgrow their skin. This means that their skin does not grow with them the way that yours does. They molt or shed their outer skin to reveal new skin underneath. They do this repeatedly until they are fully grown. Some caterpillars even eat their own old skin. A caterpillar is usually fully grown somewhere between 9 and 20 days. At this stage, the caterpillar will leave its food supply and go in search of a safe, leafy place to enter into the next stage of its life cycle. Once in this safe place, it attaches itself to a twig or small branch by making a silk pad on the bottom of the branch or twig. The caterpillar then hooks itself into the silk pad. In the next stage, the caterpillar forms a protective outer casing called a pupa or chrysalis. The formation of the chrysalis is the final stage of molting or shedding outer skin. When it molts for the final time, the new skin becomes the outer shell of the chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, something incredible happens. The caterpillar transforms from one thing into another in the process called metamorphosis. Think about what a caterpillar looks like when it's fully grown, just before metamorphosis. It is small and round. When it emerges from the chrysalis, it is no longer a caterpillar, but a delicate, beautifully colored butterfly with wings. The caterpillar's body has completely changed. For some butterflies, it is sometimes possible to tell when the butterfly is fully transformed and ready to emerge because the chrysalis becomes transparent or see-through. The butterfly does not look anything like the small, round-bodied creature it used to be. Instead of mouth parts that chew, the butterfly has a straw-like tube that can suck nectar from sweet-tasting flowers. It has antennae. This metamorphosis takes between 10 to 14 days to complete. At first, the butterfly's wings are very delicate. They are quite soft and are folded up, not yet ready to carry the butterfly up into the air. It will take several hours before the butterfly is ready to take to the sky. During this time, a fluid is being pumped all around the butterfly's body, especially into the wings. When the butterfly is ready to fly, it is also ready to find a mate. Butterflies use their eyes to find a mate. Male butterflies send out special scents to attract female butterflies. Male butterflies fertilize the eggs of female butterflies, just like chickens and frogs. The life cycle begins all over again as female butterflies search for the right places to lay their eggs. Amazingly, female butterflies use their feet to find the best place to lay their eggs. The butterfly tastes various leaves using her feet to find just the right home for her young. She knows that when her eggs hatch, they will need an instant food supply. Did you know that butterflies do not live for a very long time? Many butterflies live for just about 1 month. There are even some that live for just a matter of days. However, there are a few, such as the monarch butterfly, that can live for almost a year, and in the fall, migrate thousands of miles. During their lifetime, butterflies help to pollinate our flowering plants. Because they are cold-blooded and like only warm weather, we only see them in the late spring and summer. But when we do, they are a beautiful sight to see in our gardens and parks. Perhaps now that you know all about the life cycle of a butterfly, when you next see one, you will appreciate it even more. On the board behind me, I have got a diagram of the life cycle of a butterfly. So remember, we start with our egg. Butterflies lay these small eggs on leaves. From those eggs emerges a caterpillar. The caterpillar will eventually form a chrysalis, or a pupa. And from that chrysalis, after a long time, a butterfly will emerge. Alright, I've got some questions about the life cycle of a butterfly for you. Caterpillars, we talked about how caterpillars will grow so quickly that they outgrow their skin. They grow more quickly than their skin grows. What happens when they outgrow their skin? So when a caterpillar outgrows its skin, what happens? We have a special vocabulary word today that explains what happens. They molt. Molting means that they shed their skin and grow a new skin. After metamorphosis, so after this process, remember metamorphosis means a big change. After the process of metamorphosis, does this look the same as it did when it was young? Does the adult animal look the same as the young animal? No. It's still the same animal, but it looks very different. The metamorphosis changed it a lot. The life cycle of a flowering plant could be described as going from seed to seed. Remember, cycles move in circles, so we go from seed to seed. The life cycle of a frog could be described as going from egg to egg. What about the life cycle of a butterfly? How do you think we could describe the life cycle of a butterfly? Just like a frog, the life cycle of a butterfly starts with an egg, moves through all of these stages, and goes back to egg. It could also be egg to egg. Alright, my friends, go ahead and open up the PDF that is attached to this assignment. We are going to do a little bit more work on our diagrams of the life cycle of a butterfly. I'm going to jump on my computer so I can show you what that looks like. In this video, we'll see a time lapse of the life cycle of a butterfly, starting with a caterpillar egg. This caterpillar is eating its egg as it emerges, this larva. Remember, caterpillars have to eat a lot. They eat, day and night. And they get bigger and bigger, and they molt or shed their skin. See how big he's gotten? Now he's getting ready to form a pupa or chrysalis. There's his completed pupa or chrysalis. This one's a little bit transparent. We can kind of see what's going on inside. As our caterpillar gets ready to emerge as a butterfly. As a butterfly, this animal looks very different than it did as a caterpillar. We'll see its wings fully unfurl. All right, my friends, go ahead and open up the PDF that is attached to this video. That PDF should look like this one. We have followed a similar process with a lot of the cycles that we've been talking about. On our assignment today, we have 4 pictures of the life cycle of a butterfly. Remember, when we talk about life cycles of living things, we always start with the egg stage. Our job is going to be to put these 4 pictures in the correct order or sequence that they happen in the life cycle of a butterfly, starting, of course, with the eggs. After a butterfly lays an egg, what's the next step in the life cycle of a butterfly? Go ahead and put a number 2 next to the picture that shows the second step in the life cycle of a butterfly. Then place a number 3 next to the picture that shows the third step, and a number 4 that shows the next and last step. When you have correctly numbered the stages of the life cycle of a butterfly, on the page underneath, we're going to write 4 sentences. We have 4 pictures, so we're going to write 4 sentences. You'll probably want to use a text box for this one. Each of your sentences will describe the first, second, third, and fourth stages in the life cycle of a butterfly. So number 1, our first sentence, is going to be about our number 1 stage, the eggs. Number 2 will be about the second stage, number 3 about the third, and number 4 about the fourth. Make sure you are writing in complete sentences about what is happening in each of those stages. When you are finished, go ahead and turn this one in, and you are all done with knowledge for today.